Greetings, everyone. We are thrilled to have you join us today for an exciting deep dive into the future of AI in the Copilot Studio. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Bülent, a distinguished Microsoft MVP and thought leader in the AI and Power Platform community. Bülent has been at the forefront for exploring the cutting edge technologies, and today he will guide us through the Anthropic models in Copilot Studio, a topic that's shaping the next generation of the intelligent experiences. Get ready to uncover how these models enhance safety, reasoning, and adaptability in the Copilot solution. Please join me in welcoming Bluent to the stage. Over to you, Bluent.
Thank you very much for the introduction and glad to be back, guys. So today I want to talk about the model choice in Copilot Studio because this is something which is very important. Because if you're using an agent, if you're just using a large language model in an agent, there is a problem because a large language model that fits all or one size fits all, that doesn't exist. The best way is just to have multi-agent and using multi-agent and assigning, one large language model which fits to that purpose. So that's why it's great that Microsoft has introduced into a so-called model choice, and we have now the Entropic models there as well with Claude Sonnet 4.5 and Claude Opus 4.1. These are very, very good ones and alternatives to the general GDPR 4 or GDPR 5X versions, which usually comes with Copilot Studio. But there's things you just need to know about this one, and that's why we're just recording this session today. So first of all, let's go into Copilot Studio. In Copilot Studio, usually, if you're using now an agent, you're selecting one of the models in here. So what you can see is, for example, the GDPR 4.0 is retired and will not return back again. Currently, we do have GDPR 4 on, and we do have GDPR 5 in chat and auto and reasoning currently as preview, which will become the new default models in a couple of weeks. But we also have the Anthropic models. So first of all, if you don't see them, it might be that your IT hasn't really released them so you can see that. But if you have an own environment and just wants to play a little bit just to see how improved the answer qualities are, then I show you how you can do this. For this, you just need to go to M65 Co-Admin Center. There's a new Copilot section there. In that Copilot section, you just have to go to Settings. Once you just go to Settings, there's a lot of things which you can just adjust here. Where you need to go is the so-called data access. Once you just click in, you do have your AI providers for other large language models. So it's very well hidden. So if you click on this one, you will see the Anthropic ones. And now you can just allow them or disable them. So out of the box, these are disabled. And if you click on this one, you will see and disabling will take up to 15 minutes. Well, that's the usual time that Microsoft just gives to you when you just disable or enable something. So that's why for that video, I already have enabled that, so you can see this, obviously. So this is how you can set this up. What's very important for you to know is that it's experimental. So experimental means that these models can fall out. So maybe you don't use them anymore. So if you select them and want to use them in production, that's not a very good idea, obviously. What you also need to know about this one is, unfortunately, if you select one of these, you only see this message. So the Anthropic model you've selected is not hosted by Microsoft. You may experience slowdowns or timeouts due to limited capacity and availability. The only thing about what's not mentioning to you is, if you're living in the European Union, it also goes out of the European Union. So then we do have, if you want to use that on client side, a GDPR problem, obviously. So unfortunately, that's not mentioned anywhere. And if you select this one, it's not really mentioned somewhere in the documentation. At least I haven't found it. We have found it in one of our podcast experiences with M65, when you just select that you got that message. But in Copilot Studio, you don't get that message. What's important for you to know is that Anthropic have just started a couple of months ago or weeks ago, also saving that kind of information to improve their own large language models. That's good for them. But obviously, if you using that on your client context, your data, that's not really good, obviously. So in that case, how you have to be warned if you want to use it. If you're still convinced about the Anthropic models because they're really, really good, you can still use them from the Azure catalog from Microsoft. If you have Azure credits, and then that's my recommendation, because then these models are not leaving the tenant. So, and this is how you can activate or deactivate the Anthropic models.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bluent. And thank you all for joining today's session and exploring the fantastic world of Anthropic models in the Copilot Studio with Bluent. We hope you found the insightful, valuable tips and inspiring for your own AI journey. If you enjoyed this session and wanted to stay updated with the more deep dives and the expert discussion, don't forget to like the video, share it with your network, and subscribe to the channel for more Power Platform Advent Calendar content. Your support helps us to bring more sessions like this to you. Stay tuned, one video every day, lots of learning ahead. Thank you so much and have a great day.